Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Vagrant Story. Joining me again is Soren Highwind.
Hey guys.
And the video starts off like right in the middle of something, so I'm introducing us first. So if you're ready, Soren, 3, 2, 1, play. This is backtracking to the workshop that's got the leather ability back in the Sanctum. And I'm just combining a bunch of armor that we picked up. This was actually like 4 minutes of footage, but I sped it up 4 times.
Sweet.
You can see what I'm combining as it's going, so I'm not really gonna say what it is. But like I said, I'm basically just combining all that armor that I picked up.
Right.
While I was doing other things with the sweet power gaming weapons, which we'll see real soon. This is the last time I'll probably have to backtrack to the leatherworking workshop because most of my stuff now is bronze or iron. And so here we're back at the actual bronze iron workshop that we left off in the last video. And we're finally...
We're going with extreme backtracking.
Yes! Extremo! And I maybe could have sped this up too, but I figured since I was showing off something nifty, which is what we're doing with those weapons that I was talking about, the power gaming weapons. So I took that spear and I trained it on the undead dummy that appears in the Sanctum, and I believe I talked about that the last video.
Yeah.
Or, no, it's the Catacombs. He appears in the Catacombs, not the Sanctum. My bizad. But you combine those two and you'll get a Spatha, or Spatha, which you can then combine with the Rapier to make a sweet short sword, which is way stronger than anything else you have at this point.
Ballin'.
Which unfortunately eats up the death murder weapon, so...
Aw.
No.
Ah, well.
Also, you can use that bow... What do I combine it with? Oh, with the... Oh, I didn't have the weapon yet, never mind. I thought I was further ahead than I actually was. I got confused. Because what I usually do before I record a video is I'll play through that part just so that I know where to go, so I'm not like getting lost or whatever in the recording. Yeah. For the most part. So here we're going to christen our new blade.
Sweet. I love blade christening.
Because it's a combination of the Hyper Fister and Death Murder. It is now the Death Fister.
That's fantastic.
So I haven't gotten any new suggestions for weapon names yet, so...
Yeah. It's hard to think of some cooler ones in the meantime.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Like Death Apocalypse.
Death Apocalypso. Now here, we're going to progress with our video game.
Sweet. It's always good.
Showing off kind of an optional cutscene that you can miss if you don't go this way. As you'll recall, last video we spotted the Crimson Blade searching for Mullen Camp, so they're heavily infesting the city area.
Right.
Generally we won't have a confrontation with them or anything. That's not going to happen.
Nah. Kind of thing never happens in a video game. Or any piece of media, really. It's too risky.
So apparently they're safe as long as they're in the daytime, but if they go at night... I mean, I'm just showing what happens if you try to cross. He says the same thing, so...
Right.
You must go other ways.
I'll have to find another way around.
Now, you don't have to have kind of this super Death Fister weapon that I have that's going to be really effective against humans, but it is nice to have, especially for the coming up sections, a weapon that is strong against humans, because you'll be fighting a lot of human enemies.
Right.
So, it may or may not be worth it to you. Not necessary, but speeds things up a little bit.
It's good to know. My guy's on the prowl for douchebags and without any shirts.
Yes. And crotchless pants.
And crotchless pants.
And this is a new Crimson Blade we've not seen before. I don't think he gets named here yet. He just got spit on.
How dare you spit in my face? I have to teach you a lesson.
A lesson in the Lord.
Go with God, bitch.
Here's some Christian mercy for you. Stab.
Leviticus 3:18, thou shalt punch.
Leviticus is mostly about animal sacrifices, actually.
Oh, I haven't read the Bible in so many years.
Yes.
Meanwhile, who's this lady?
I can't remember if we saw her before or not, because,
I don't think we have.
secret tip, I'm, like, way ahead in the game right now.
It's a nice waterfall in the background. Adds to the scenery.
Turn to dust.
Leaving no trace.
So apparently death gets screwed up in Le Monde is the big take-home point of this conversation.
That's not good.
In Le Monde, you do not die a complete death.
No. You turn into a weird zombie monster.
Your soul lingers. You infect corpses.
That's never good.
Well, you know, something to use the apocalypse on.
That sentence was kind of redundant. The undying and Le Monde do not die. It's an incomplete death. The corpses that walk are born. This is some serious shit going on.
That's right. One thing that I'm thinking about of the plot is it's not been explained well to me is why exactly the Crimson Blades hate Ashley, who's a risk breaker, and why they're trying to kill him on sight. Perhaps they'll explain a little later. It seems like they're both looking for Sydney, so... whatever.
It's like, what the hell was that all about? Oh shit!
BKP Butcher, eh? Sweet boss fight.
Snaps.
Time to boost our stats even more, even though we don't need to.
Hell yeah, overkill.
One shot everything.
Yes, love it.
This is actually overkill. You definitely don't need to cast Degenerate, but I wanted to, just to see how much damage I could do in one hit.
Lower your shit.
Which is in the 120s, so pretty good.
It's delicious triple digits.
Yes.
Damn, that was fast.
Yes, it was. And we get another Rapier right away anyway, so that's kind of why you can sacrifice your other one.
Awesome.
And it's made of iron, which is better than bronze.
It's critical hit that dude into oblivion.
Yes. And then, what am I... oh yeah, I thought I could maybe cast Analyze on him and show off the Analyze spell, but no. He is wily. Now, there's a kind of a hidden stat in this game called Chain Evasion that enemies will have. And this guy has high chain evasion, meaning that it's harder to land consecutive chain hits on him.
Not that it seems to matter.
Yes, especially because I'm dealing so much damage per hit. But that would come up if you didn't have like a human boosted weapon, and you were just using... if you're just using kind of what you have normally, I think you deal about 40 damage per hit. So it's a little more of a slugfest with that Duane there.
I see.
And you get your first staff of the game from him, as well as some wizard robes, which you could then backtrack again to the leather workshop and combine with your armor to make a better piece of armor, but I don't do that.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure, spoiler alert, the ultimate fate of the wizard robe is to be discarded. Even though it has super high intelligence defense, so if you're into that sort of thing, you could use it.
I liked that tiny cutscene there. No words. They're just like, coming for you. And Ash is like, come get it, bitch. But they don't say anything.
Yeah, come at me, bro. So here we can actually use the bow I was trying to combine earlier. Do I speed this section up too? I think that I do. Yes. So enjoy the sweet Xenogears remix music.
Xenogears has an amazing soundtrack. Oh my god.
Yes.
It has that going for it, at least.
which I do mostly because I'm dicking around and looking at the different combinations. And what do? I make yet another short sword, which again is Hagine or Agni or whatever, however you want to pronounce it.
Right.
Which is a at this point pretty much the strongest metal that we can forge. We do have that silver dagger, which is one tier above, but I think to get silver you have to combine bronze and Hagine, maybe?
Yeah.
And I was at a loss for a name, but I think I found one that was suitable. If you're familiar with Boner.
Excalibur
2987.
Yes! That is awesome.
And I went back and looked. The game's spelled with a K, but whatever, the C works too. It's fine.
It'll do for now. Open combining system seems really flexible in this game. I like that.
You can combine any blade with any other blade and any piece of armor with any other piece of armor.
That's actually pretty awesome.
And then shields are their own thing too.
It doesn't seem as restrictive as other item crafting systems.
It's also not random, which is good. Like, the Legend of Mana, as I recall, was like, there was a lot of random crap that goes on when you combine stuff. But with Vagrant Story, like, every time you combine a ring sleeve with a chain sleeve, you will get a gauntlet or whatever. So, like, you can always count on that. And then the way that the materials themselves combine is also consistent. So bronze and iron will always get you Hagine or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah. The thing that gets wonky is the way the like class and affinity ratings will combine.
I don't know.
If you
seems better than most other systems. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind at the moment is like Star Oceans 3 and 4, and those crafting systems were a total crapshoot.
Yeah. If you combine two pieces that have like 100s and different stats, those will always carry over. So the 100 in the first stat and the 100 in the other stat, those will carry over. But what gets random is the way things get averaged if they're not maxed. Yeah. You can go look it up and get into detail and whatever.
Yeah.
There are ways to forge. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I think I was just showing off. So if you saw, I did about 100 damage with that maxed sword that's got 100 in physical and 100 in undead. And I wanted to show compared to the Apocalypse. The Apocalypse does a little less, about 70. But considering that we haven't built up the Apocalypse at all, it's pretty much just like given to us.
Yeah.
You can see that
it's still a pretty good weapon.
Yeah, especially because that affinity that it has, the light affinity compared to the physical, because that's the undead's weakness. So showing off how powerful it is to exploit affinity weaknesses.
Sweet.
I totally lost my train of thought on what I was saying before that.
I'm kind of wondering the implications of things' bodies turning blue and then disappearing. How do the people in this universe hold funerals?
Well, it's something that's unique to Le Monde, not to the actual whole world.
Yeah, I kind of figured.
Yes.
Just trying to mess around.
We've seen this man before, but you may not remember where.
Does everyone in this game walk around in bondage gear?
Mm-hmm. They certainly do.
My God.
So the reason it's nice to have yet another short sword at this point is that I don't have to worry about messing up the stats on my other one. But as you can see, I'm dealing really low damage because it doesn't have any phantom points yet. For one thing.
Gotta fix that.
Yes, by using it. Let's see here. Yeah, I was checking it out. I'm like, why is it dealing such crap damage? Oh, yeah, 6 phantom points. That could be why. And then I was like, we haven't used the shocker in a while. Let's see what kind of damage that does.
Not much better.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing about it is that it is the lowest tier of mace in the game, and it doesn't have any blades it can combine with to upgrade to a higher tier of mace, if I'm not mistaken.
Ah, I see.
You can combine it with other things to create, like, there's some useful combinations for it, like creating a spatha or whatever, which you then use to combine for a short sword, but...
I see.
We will mostly be going with, in this dungeon crawl,
Excalibur 2097.
that and the Death Vista. Because, as I mentioned before, we're going to run into a lot of human enemies.
Yeah. It's always good to be prepared.
Even though you wouldn't think that they're human, necessarily. Because they look like little goblins there. But they're actually human. So,
Humanoid, I guess?
yes.
Seems to be a good analog.
You can see you deal a lot of damage to them.
Delicious triple digits.
Yes. Makes killing them much faster.
Tasty damage.
Now, I did sacrifice both of my piercing weapons that are not the Apocalypse to create these two short swords, which may come back and bite me a little bit later.
Right. Is that a mimic?
That is a mimic.
I hate mimics.
Yeah, I really should have just skipped him, because I don't have any weapons that are very effective at dealing damage to him, as you can see.
Oh.
I think your best bet is to use piercing weapons on him, but he's pretty strong against the Apocalypse because it's not tooled to deal much damage to his weaknesses, so
Right.
as we'll see here, well, it's alright, but
It's not the best.
you gotta keep in mind too, that's with it being debuffed.
Right. Mimics are never fun.
No, not in any game ever.
And it was just show up to ruin your day.
And there's no point in killing him because you can easily avoid him. If you keep him far away from you, he won't like get in range to attack you, so.
Right.
Whereas those little goblin jerks you pretty much have to kill because they'll track you down. They'll hunt you down.
Those pricks.
So here we have to use the unlock spell.
Fantastic.
Yes. Kind of a useless spell, really. Or a stupid spell. I don't see much point to it, but whatever. Certain chests you have to unlock, and you have a 60% chance, so just sit there and waste time in menus.
Alright.
Taking a
Use
look.
the secrets of the universe to unlock a chest.
Taking a look at our ill-gotten gains.
Ooh, circle shield.
We certainly won't be combining those two shields into something more powerful later.
Why would you do that?
I'm pretty behind on my leg armor, I think. Because I haven't been getting very many leg armor drops.
Right.
Not that you really need to worry about. Too much. And of course I'm going to every room and stuff to show off room completion.
Right.
Not... You could just take the direct route or whatever, but not me. And I get unlucky. Once again, if you whiff that first shot, oh, you're host.
That's not good.
Oops. I always get overzealous and try to click through the menu as fast as I can. Which leads to mistakes.
Yeah.
I think...
We gotta keep these up.
Yeah, I'm using an edged weapon against these guys, but because they're armored, I think that if you had a piercing weapon, you'd be dealing more damage.
I see. So, what do the different colors on the representation of you in the bottom left mean?
Those are your relative levels of health or whatever on your different body parts. Because as you may have noticed in that battle with Dwayne and his two henchmen earlier in the city, I targeted one guy's legs and it said move minus 50%. you can get crippled in your different body parts, and it'll have different effects. So blue is the healthiest, green is like okay, and then it'll go yellow, and I think orange, and then red. And red's crippled.
I see.
I may have invented a level there, because I don't usually let my body parts get very low.
Right.
And they can be healed either over time, or if you use like a healing spell or eat a curative item, it will restore some of the status.
Right.
So that is the answer to your question.
The door has been unlocked.
Do. Zelda-style gameplay.
Fantastic.
And here I'm hoping that our trusty Excalibur blade will build up some beast-type attribute.
Right.
But it doesn't really happen for me.
Aww.
Again, if you were really going for it, you would sit there and you wouldn't chain. You would just keep attacking regularly, because that's the only way to build them up. Chains do not build them. For those playing at home, which are probably none of you. Probably none of you at all.
Yeah, myself included. I'm not playing this game.
And one reason that I am intent on building a what's called ultimate weapon, or ultimate-ish anyway, for this first playthrough, is that'll reduce the amount of time I have to spend in menus switching back and forth between weapons.
Right.
Which can get irritating, because you'll enter a room and there'll be 2 or 3 different enemy types, and you might have to use a different weapon for every single enemy type in the room.
Yeah.
Which just doesn't make a very good video.
No. I wouldn't imagine so.
Pro Menu Navigator 2011. 2012, whatever.
Yes. 2011-12.
20-something. It is a good idea to explore all these side rooms in this area, because they'll give you some pretty handy items for taking out the different bosses. And this is kind of a dick move, as that trap is right in front of the chest.
I hate when that happens.
You can do nothing. That Jasper is one of those important items.
Let's see.
Also, I think that shield that we collected from the chest earlier has a gem in it that I didn't realize until the next video. But that's something to watch out for too when you're gifted equipment, is they may come stocked with gems.
Ah, God!
Yeah. Traps all over. So before you just store them in the container, make sure to check and see if there's any gems.
Right.
That you can use later. Sounds like you're being invaded.
I am. Don't worry about it.
Alright.
What'd you say? What do you mean? Shut up, Lucas.
Sorry.
Awesome. This recording was done professionally in a studio.
Yeah, of course. There's no other way to do it.
Indeed. One thing that does blow is if you say you went through this door first and didn't go through those other doors. Oh, wait, I'm ahead of myself. Never mind.
Alright.
What I was going to say is that in this area you get locked into the boss rooms as soon as you enter the boss room, so if you didn't explore the offshoots and get the different items, then you might be a host, but that is also why there's save points at various places.
Right.
So it's not a total dick move.
Yeah.
So is that your roommate, or
No.
everyone
it's
wants
my
to
little
know?
boys.
So it's your sister?
No, they're just my siblings.
Nah. Awesome. I forget what it's like to have siblings. I think this was the boss room I was thinking of.
Ah.
We shall see. Yes.
Oh god, what the hell is that thing? Oh, it's another dragon.
I watched somebody try to fight this guy with a staff, and that took like 10 minutes.
How do you do that?
I'm not sure.
That just does not sound fun at all.
Probably your best option is to have a strong piercing weapon and attach the Dragonite gem to it, and then go for the head. But because I didn't really have a piercing weapon, I opted instead to do the same thing, except go for the tail, I think.
This game seems rather fond of dragons.
There are many, many dragons in this video game.
Kick ass.
So yeah, 60 damage is pretty good. Especially compared to that video that I saw where his expected damage every time was 0 with the staff. And that was even with the staff being boosted to with the Dragonite gem.
That just sounds like more of a bad idea the more you describe it.
Yeah, well, it's a blunt weapon, and the dragon is strong against blunt, like, everywhere. And then it also has really low attack strength because its strength is having intelligence attack strength, I guess you would say, or a boost to your attack intelligence. So when you're casting spells.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not really meant to kill enemies so much in direct melee combat.
I see.
However, as you can see, the sword makes short work of our friend the dragon.
Alright, congratulations!
And
So do these points give you anything, or are they just there for show?
I think they're mostly just there for show, and they factor into your quote-unquote rank. And I don't remember if the points carry across on your second playthrough or not, or if you have to like start over from 0 points. Not sure.
Huh. Guess we'll just wait and see.
Other things that factor into your title, or your rank, I guess it's called, are the titles that I showed off in one of the videos in that score menu. And to get the highest rank, you have to have all of the first 16 of the titles. There's 32 titles in total, but the back half are mostly just kind of combat titles, like you used a sword 500 times, you used a polearm 500 times, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones are more progress-oriented, like having map completion and chest completion and
all that jazz.
Certain special items. Floating blocks.
Platforming.
3D platforming.
That's just what I want in my RPG.
Yeah. It's never really too bad in Vagrant Story, thankfully, but there are a couple points where you have some tricky platforming to deal with.
Right.
And then I'm like, oh, I just screwed this all up, didn't I? Alright, well, damn it.
Son of a bitch.
Now, if you're so inclined, you can play the game with puzzle mode on, which I don't know why you would want to, but anytime you enter a room where you've solved a puzzle previously, it'll reset that puzzle, and then you have to do it over again, and it'll have a timer. And if you do it poorly, the game will basically make fun of you and give you a rank that makes you feel emasculated. So.
Well, that doesn't seem very fun.
It'll say what your... I think when you enter the room, it'll say evolve or die, and then your ranking is like kind of based on the evolutionary scale, and if you do really bad, it'll be like, you're a protozoa. Like, aw. Aw.
This game is not nice.
I'm glad they made that an optional feature, though. That'd be really annoying if you had to... It was mandatory that every time you re-enter a room, you had to solve the puzzle again.
Yeah.
Some more break arts. I don't really use break arts too often, but they're there.
I'm not really fond of things that you have to use your HP to cast. It seems too risky.
It can be a good alternative to some things, but the reason I killed those bats instead of just trying to skip them is they will knock you off there while you're trying to climb up, which is even more irritating. Sometimes it can be hard to get a good camera angle, as you saw.
Yeah, I noticed. Oh shit, 12 seconds to something.
To get through
Wow.
this maze.
Well, at least time stops when you're fighting stuff.
Yeah, it's It's kindness for sure.
That's pretty nice. Ashley made it through.
All 2 rooms. It was really scary. Now, this room is important to keep in mind for later in the Vigi game, because later in the Vigi game you will find the beast dummy here to train up your beast class on weapons. Weapons. And also later in the game, backtracking becomes immensely easier because you gain a spell that will take you to any room that has... They're called magic circles, or the save points.
Right.
Any room that has a magic circle in it, you can just cast a spell and go there.
That's awesome.
I think the cost is something like 15 MP base plus 4 MP for however many tiles away you are from it, or whatever, how many circles you are. So it's not possible with like default MP to transport from the last save point to the first one, is what I'm getting at. It'll be too much.
Way too much.
But that will do it for this portion of the Abandoned Mines. Next video, we'll wrap up the Abandoned Mines. It'll be super fun times, I promise.
Alright, can't wait.
I think, will you be joining us again, Soren?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Excellente. We will see you then.